I was born on October 31st, 1983. I don't know how much of this is true, but from what I was told, a tornado hit the hospital the moment I was born. It destroyed everything except the NICU and the maternity ward. Fast forward a year and a half, I hadn't started really talking, and my mom was getting ready for work. I was sitting on the floor playing with my G.I. Joe action figure. As she was passing me by, I said, "Mama, don't go." She stopped dead in her tracks. I hadn't even said my first word yet, and I just spoke a complete sentence. She looked at me and asked, "What did you say?" Clearly stunned by the situation, I answered her again, "Mama, don't go." With that, she called into work sick. A half hour later, a breaking news report came on the TV. On the highway she would have been driving on, at the same time she would have been driving on it, there was a 13-car pileup. My mom would have died. She told me I saved her life that day. Now, after that, my mom went on a downward spiral. She started doing heavy drugs. One night, as she was doing them, I came up out of nowhere and bit her on the arm. She flung me across the room, the back of my head hitting a brick fireplace. She realized what she had done and called an ambulance and the police. She turned herself in and they put her in a psych ward. I was placed with my grandmother. My father wasn't in the picture at the time. My mother and him had been separated since I was 10 months. He had went into a drunken, drug-induced rage. Because I had been crying, he tried to suffocate me in my crib. My mother fought him off, snatched me up, and took off to her mother's. My grandma who I was left with when she was committed. When the family had came back to the house to get the belongings, he was long gone. Now I had just turned 2 while living with my grandmother. With my mother in the hospital, when my dad showed up to her house with a new woman in his arms, wanting to see me, my grandma allowed it. She stepped out of the room for a minute to get something. When she returned, my dad, the woman, and I were gone. Now, this was long before they had the Amber Alert, so my mother's side of the family wouldn't see me for 12 years. I was on the back of milk cartons, and my aunt had hired a private detective to try to find me. But that was a story for another time. Anyways, fast forward to my 8th birthday, and I had come to love the woman that had been on my dad's arms that day. And I had called her my mom. She protected me from my father on many occasions. When he was in a drunken rage, she had a son named Danny, and I had grown very attached to him. I come to think of him as more than just a brother. He was like a second father to me. He taught me everything that a father was supposed to teach a daughter. Now I loved him very much, and still to this day I miss him. Needless to say, my attachment and connection to him was very strong. So the night on my 8th birthday, I had a horrible dream. I was out of my body watching him as he was working on a computer. He heard a noise outside and he went to inspect it. Someone was messing with his Harley Davidson. The man noticed my brother, snatched my brother's helmet off his bike, and took off down the street. My brother hopped in his motorcycle and took off after him. At the red light down the street, he tried to stop and he couldn't. His brakes had been cut, so he swerved, hit the curb, flew 16 feet in the air. When he landed, his neck landed on the curb. He died instantly. I woke up screaming and crying. My stepmother ran in and asked me what was wrong. I told her about the dream. She told me it was just that, a dream. Unfortunately, I had that dream once a week until the month before it happened. I even told my brother about it. He had laughed it off and told me not to worry, that he wasn't going anywhere. The look in his eyes told me something different though. He had believed me. The day came when I had been in school and they pulled me out of class. My dad drove us to the hospital. Once there, the doctor came in and told us there was nothing that they could do. Danny was gone, and it happened exactly my dream had foretold. I had never forgotten that experience. It still haunts me to this day. I still have premonitions and do what I can to help people who they directly affect. Whether they listen or not is their decision. A word of advice though, if a child comes to you with a recurring nightmare, Please listen to them. It might just save your life. That is it. Thank you guys for watching. And thank you so much for the Reddit user, Rebecca Harley Quinn, for allowing me to share her story. This is my first story video, and I'm glad I get to share it with you all, especially Rebecca Harley Quinn, because I am posting this on her birthday. So down below on the comment section, say happy birthday to her. She might read it. Announcements. I love stories, and if you love stories, stick around with me. This is a new channel. It's not really new, but I changed the name, and that means I'm going to post regularly. Now tell me what you enjoy about it.